So here is my question. My question goes deeper than that, and I want to give it a thought. Why do we need a nervous system? And my answer is because we move. If you look at the example, there's some creatures like limpids that stay on rocks and they don't move, because if they would move, the birds would see them and eat them.
Who?
The geckos.
Yeah.
Geckos.
What's the gecko?
I don't know how you call those.
It's a
in
little
English.
lizard. A little one.
Yeah.
Little.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
If they move, birds will eat them. If they don't move, then they can be alive, right? If we don't move, we're dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason we need a nervous system is because we move. And here comes a very big issue, which is the big issue of my work. And this is the idea that most people had for so many years, is that the nervous system controls us, full stop. For example, they'll give you they will cite the example that if the middle brain is damaged, we have all kinds of problems. I can tell you if the cerebellum is damaged, there's coordination problems and movement problems. If the cerebrum is damaged, we could have tremor, we could have problems to move. We could have memory problems, we could have many, many others. So we're really looking at segmental problems that exist. But if you look at the total picture, we can see that with the external movement that we learn, we can affect internal movement within the body. Let me give you the best example of today. Okay, external, you know what external is, Topaz, right? The external movement that we do, we can affect the internal movement of the body. I have the two best examples today. Today, Topaz learned she can jump. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because she could do it in water, right? That's external movement. But that must affect your nervous system in your brain. Like you say, I cannot bicycle. I would like to dispute with you that thing. I think you could learn how to bicycle. But before you learn how to bicycle, you got to learn how to jump. And you have to learn many, many things. And you have to change your way of thinking, okay? Because your way of thinking is, either I can do it or forget it. And that doesn't help you do anything. But what I want to say is, that's specific to you, but it's specific to many other people. But what I want to say is, the nervous system is there because we move. And the more effective our movement is, the better the nervous system works. So the idea that I have is, why can I take somebody with multiple sclerosis and hope I can help them to delay the symptoms, to reduce the symptoms, to function better, maybe to even overcome their symptoms? Because, and you know, the best case was when we talked about the lady who lost sensation and tapping on the table, she gave it back. It was really amazing to me, her doctors, and doctors who heard about it, to everybody. But the reason I'm saying that we can change things for the nervous system and change the way it functions is because we can improve our movement. And through peripheral control, we can affect how the brain functions. In fact, it is proven that the brain can change its size according to our function.
Il y a quand même le cerveau peut changer sa grosseur en rapport avec la fonction qu'on lui confie.
Okay, it is a proven fact. And yet,
Ça, c'est prouvé.
it is still a theory for everyone.
Pour
You know,
beaucoup de gens, c'est encore une théorie.
when I studied pathophysiology in 1977, was a long time ago, right? Some of us here were not even an idea in that time. But once I studied that, you had to answer that every year we lose 10,000 nerve cells, neurons in the brain. You have to answer that. Now, they say you don't lose neurons in your brain, but you lose connections, right? So now the answer in the test has to be different. And he changed it to 10, basically. 210, they start to have a whole new idea about the brain. But what I'm saying here is we can change. Now let's look at what happened today. Topaz learned she can jump in the pool. I think that was the biggest achievement we had in the pool today. Okay, and I'm very, very happy about that. And that you suffered so much in the sun, all of you. You did sunning for 13 days before today. You didn't wash enough, in my opinion, the chlorine from your face. You know, that's a part of it. And then the other part is, in many ways, you learn to be afraid of the sun, to escape the sun, to have nothing to do with the sun. We have an amazing, thoughtful campaign against the sun by the medical profession. And yet, without the sun, I would have never been able to read any written letter. I was dependent on Braille, and even big letters I couldn't see. And you saw my glasses the other day, right? They're impressive, aren't they?
Very
Huge,
much. Yeah.
right? So what I'm saying is, there's no, with those glasses I couldn't see a big letter. Let's not talk about without glasses, okay? And in the sun, Arman in a weaker eye could see big letters in the eye chart, okay? So the sun is the only reason why I'm talking to you and I'm able to read even big print from here. And actually I can read regular print from near and in the sun. But then it was hard for you to adapt to the sun because you escape the sun all the time. Think what that does to all the cells in your retina, and think what that does to your brain. It teaches the brain to be weak. All the therapies that I'm looking in the medical profession, all the therapies have to do with adapt to your deficit. There's a good place there. If Richard lost a lot of vision, he has to have a cane, he has to have Braille, and he has to adapt to his deficit, no question. But in many cases, instead of adapting the deficit, we can reduce the deficit, convincing the body to be different. Let me give you one point where I agree with physiotherapy, and this is the issue of stroke patients. Okay? CVA, stroke patients. What do I agree with them? Often, a person would have his arm sticking to his leg, his thumb sticking to the index finger, would not be very mobile, and with enough training, 3 to 6 months later, he actually has a use of his arm. He limp, and then he limps much less, or not at all. I met even people, I remember I met a person that was walking with a walker, but he was in a wheelchair. And physiotherapy with pool exercises, and others got him to walk in a walker. He came to me, he couldn't comb his hair. And when I finished with him, he could comb his hair, and he could walk without a walker. Okay? Why? Because there are places in the brain that replace the places that were damaged. And now a person can get back either most of all the function that they lost. Now there is where physiotherapy have shown that it can do great things. Okay? But it has to go much further than that. It has to go also where we're completely pessimistic about people's ability to improve. We have to understand that with some more sophistication, more openness to differentiation, and everybody in this class is stuck in his or her way. I can tell you that with no fail, okay? So with some more openness, we can change the function of the brain completely. And all the information that gets there, and we can increase the size of the brain cells. We can regenerate the brain. I could not say it with open mouth until 4 years ago. As of 4 years ago, they saw that actually brain cells can regenerate. In every textbook, until then, it was written that the brain of the fish can regenerate, the nervous system of the fish can regenerate, but not the human brain. Okay? If it's lost forever. Now, I think that we are years before enough research will show us all that can be done or not be done. Years before that. But in the meantime, we can work on better function of the nervous system. And this is the other thing I want to say. my work and Feldenkrais work and Alexander work have something in common, in that we think that we exercise the nervous system, not only the cardiovascular, not only the cardiovascular, not only the muscular system, but also the nervous system. But for that, you need a bigger commitment than just building few more pieces of flesh on your body. For that, you need to commit yourself to make a real change within you. Because if you don't, it's not going to work. So it's much harder to change the function of the brain and the nervous system, and without a real commitment. And pay attention, I spend 13 hours a day every day working on my eyes. Once I learned that I could do it, and look what glasses I got rid of, right? All right, so Jean, I'm going to take a minute break right now. If everybody wants tea, you can